I'll be honest with you. When I first started talking with the homeless individuals who were downtown on the streets in my city, I went through a crisis of faith. For those of you who are not religious, we could say I was dumbfounded. I'm still not completely over it. Hearing the tragic stories broke my heart. My mind could not grasp how all of this could happen. As someone who grew up in the church, I knew that the Bible described how God would provide. It says clearly, "Father of the fatherless and protector of widows is God in his holy habitation. God gives the desolate a home to dwell in." Psalm 68, 5 through 6a. So where was the church? I discovered online that homeless encampments are especially prevalent on the West Coast, with hundreds of thousands of individuals living in tents, RVs, or are sleeping on the sidewalks. And this problem is spreading elsewhere, all across our nation. Solutions seem elusive, and estimates of the resources needed are staggering. But I'm not going to try to explain all that is going on. That is beyond the scope of this project. Instead, I'm going to focus on one man's life, someone I met in a mid-sized college town in the Midwest. His story broke my heart. I thought, where is God in all this? Being an orphan at any age is not easy. Andreas Andy Benavides, born August 31st, 1968, in a Chicago suburb, had a Hispanic mother and father who then relocated to the small town of Cotulla in southern Texas, where Andy grew up. They were poor, dirt poor as the saying goes, suffering from severe physical deprivation. After a few years, Andy's father abandoned his mother and himself, leaving them without financial support of any kind. His mother worked in several restaurants washing dishes, while Andy's maternal grandmother, who was very harsh, sometimes took care of him, though not always feeding him. Andy's mother passed away when he was 16. No relatives except one cousin reached out to help him. They all turned their backs on him. Andy gave me permission to tell his story. The remediation of homelessness involves focusing on the risk factors that contribute to homelessness, as well as advocating for structural change. When we can get to the root causes, identify them, and address them, this is helpful in assisting those who do not have homes. By sharing the story of one extraordinary homeless individual, I will illustrate how many factors are involved in a person's past that are interrelated and which influence each other's outcomes. And solutions involve psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, faith communities, schools, and the government officials who write policy decisions into law. Gandhi said the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. I believe that we need to hold discussions in the various sectors of society, spreading awareness of the desperate plight of those living on the streets, and work out solutions in a timely manner. Not tomorrow, next week, or the following year, now. Homeless, the Unbefriended Poor is my small contribution in the effort to improve public health, specifically to improve the situation of those unhoused in the United States. But most of all, I hope that this book is giving a much-needed voice for those on the margins.